I'm correct, are previous flow areas that have been measured or recorded.
They're old slide deposits.
That's
where slides have happened.
So just help
And the reason we map these blue areas, I'm talking about the audience, I apologize. The reason we map these blue areas, we were in conjunction with 911, and they're worried at the time of the first slide, they were worried at what public safety was, could happen or endanger people in the rest of the development. So we took a GPS unit into the whole development and marked potential dangers. More have occurred since then. The ones that we have marked have become worse. It does not map the severity of each one. We're working in conjunction with Western Carolina to do a detailed study on that area, so that not only the Geological Survey can benefit from it, but so can 911. So we can not only tell what's there, but how bad of a situation it's going to be. And that will hopefully be in the summer. So I can present.
The red areas that we're seeing here reflect the high instability areas. According to the maps, is that what I'm?
Not exactly. These areas, the red areas, are the downslope hazards. In other words, if a slope failure were to occur, where would they go?
Okay.
That's kind of a weather map, if you will. If a storm were to occur, where would it be? So most of these are occurring at the top of them, which is bad, because if they were to cause a slope failure, they could follow the red path to the bottom.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
If it was at the bottom.
Can you stop you right there again? Yes. All right. Look at the lower dot, the lower blue dot on the right-hand side of the screen, the first one right there. So what, Mr. Pope, what you're saying, if it should start there, it would follow the red. Am I correct?
That's correct.
And all the way to wherever it was flattened out, right?
That's correct. It will follow a path of least resistance as water would. Excuse me while I give your presentation.
No, it's fine. It's actually your presentation.
Because it would start here, it could follow any of these paths, but it would basically end up in the valley. And depending on what type of failure, how much water is behind it, is how far it would go. But the potential is to go all the way down to where it's less than 1% slope, which would be almost in the river.
Can you tell me in 30 seconds or less what you base the model on?
Actually, this was derived by Diener. This was derived by the Department of Natural Resources.
What do they base it on?
They base it on slope and soil type.
Okay, that's what my question.
This comes from the Soil Stability Index map, which was the kaleidoscope slide you saw earlier.
And do they actually go out and take samples? Is that how they determine?
Yeah, they collected according to RIC.
They did, but not over the whole county.
No.
They took a random study area and they picked random points, but basically they're basing it off the soil maps. So there's a lot of generalities here. They're basing it on a general depth of soil and a general type of soil for that area.
Okay, so they don't go actually, like you say, they do a random sample.
Correct.
But they don't go out and spend.
They haven't hit every peak in Macon.
No, and what they're saying is actually, if you're in this area and you are worried about a slide potential, you should have a detailed study of your piece of property done.
Your specific piece, you would pay someone to come out and look at the soil samples, look at the depths,
Correct.
Look at the slopes, and then they can give you a more accurate, because of the data they base it off of.
Right.
This is just a warning. This is just a warning light to say, if you're going to build here, you need to.
That is
you
correct.
need to assess your risk more closely.
Now, the elevation model is based off the LIDAR, which was derived for FEMA's floodplain maps. So the elevation modeling is extreme accurate.
Right.
But the soil type is generalization of that area.
And there's a slide.
Is the slope accurate too? I know the elevation is, but is the slope accurate
Yes,
as well?
yeah, because the slope is a derivative of the high and the low.
Okay.
And there's a slide in Rick's presentation, to be fair, that lays out where all the data comes from, but since I don't have anything to do with that and can't answer questions on that, there were about 4 pieces of information he said I took that out, but I'll be happy to ask Rick to come
That's the level of information.
answer. And he did have, he did point out, to answer your question, that the Geological Survey collected field data at 770 locations in Macon County. So that gives you a ballpark. And this is just more of what what Josh was pointing out, those blue dots are anything from, you see here the difference in elevation.
We're
These
still
are-
wild, aren't you?
Yes, these are just an example of what's happening to the roads that are in place there. This crack is, well, there. You can stick your hand in there.
It's going.
And I think it's gone down a little bit more, so now it's a couple inches offset.
They've closed that road.
And they're closed that road now. This one I thought I put in here was interesting. This person has lost, you know, value.
It must be that $250,000 appraised piece of
I guess
property that
so.
sold for $12,900.
You should see this pad out here. I don't know how anybody could get a house worth putting on a lot that expensive, but you know, maybe I'm a little more frugal. But this is pretty big as well, and there's no way to access that. You could maybe do it with a 4-wheel drive. You pretty much have to walk across it. And above it, actually the road comes back across it as well. So it was sort of built to. It looks like it was built to. It wasn't planned well. Now there was some confusion. This is an area on Onion Mountain. I thought from the information I had gotten that was DOT. There were DOT projects. I think there are, but I happen to know this slide. Dennis Desmond from the Land Trust for Little Tennessee saw the pictures in the paper and said, "Oh, that's on our property. We had an easement on that property. Somebody violated the easement, you know, however that happened." And I don't know if they misunderstood what the terms were, but and put in a road that did this. So we're unsure if this is DOT actions or private landowner actions upstream that triggered it. But the main point is that that's a big slide.
So in the upper right-hand corner, there is a road, Jenny, that's not shown?
My
This
Jeep is
is-
parked on the road.
I think this is the road he's talking about that was put in without permission.
Oh, but the slide happened above
The
the
slide
road.
happened above it, which means
So
you
that
can
means they've
imagine
been cut
here,
underneath the bank?
right, when they
Yes.
cut that out and just shimmied off and went, it wasn't done properly.
And this is not a DOT road?
Onion Mountain is a state road. I was under the impression that
that's-
this was a DOT project, but evidently it's private property.
That's unclear. I don't know, I didn't get further information from the land trust,
Okay.
so I believe this is the one that they were referencing, but
Understand.
I've got a quick question on that last slide. When you said it wasn't done properly, according to who or what?
well, I think it was done according to DOT standards, but there wasn't a geotechnical analysis done on that slope, and it had a history of sliding. So I guess that must have been what Dennis Desmond was referencing. I'm not sure. He
Yeah,
sent it in an email real quick.
Because if you said it was done to DOT standards, that would mean that DOT standards don't require that.
They may not.
Well, the DOT built
it's a
that
D,
road there.
if that's who built it, which that was my
The
understanding.
state built that road.
Unless they
Yeah.
didn't follow their own.
There's a private road, that dumps off into Corbin Road.
And that may be in one of the further slides.
Now, this may be up there about halfway up. It cuts down to the left, and they had a lot of trouble with that road, and that may be it.
Yeah, my understanding was that this was the DOT road, but this was pointed out to me by the land trust as their property, so.
This was actually on top where they did all the blasting, and they closed the road at the top to
Yes.
do actual blasting. This is that area. You can still see the drill marks.
And
Is that DOT?
And is that debris been pushed back, or that's where it actually that's where it fell?
Well, there's two slides there.
That's from here.
Go back. The first slide happened.
There's another one after this.
Okay.
Is that what you're talking about?
Okay, so the first slide occurred from this area here,
Right.
and it dumped right into the road.
Just like it is now?
Just like it is now. The bush is the last of that first slide.
So that was not related to the road prep, more than likely.
Well, if it's cut underneath it.
It's all related to
Listen,
this.
cut it. You can't see what happened, because it slid over the top of it. That was cut back improperly.
This
If it was cut in, then.
This
That
piece
was
of ice
cut in.
right here is where the wall was blasted to. So from this wall, this is the rock wall that was there originally, after the road was put in. From here to the middle of the